Here's a question I want you to sit with for a second. What if your investment account sent you a paycheck every single month for the rest of your life? Not once a year, not 4 times a year like most dividend stocks, 12 times a year, every month, like clockwork. Most investors don't know this is possible. They assume dividends work like a bonus, occasional, unpredictable, something that happens to you rather than something you build. But there's an entire category of investments, REITs, BDCs, and income ETFs, that are legally structured to pay you every single month. And some of the best ones yield 5%, 7%, even 8% annually. Today, I'm going to show you 5 of them, $500 across all 5, with the real math on what that $500 turns into over 5, 10, and 20 years. And why the answer is more surprising than most dividend videos show you. My name is Yeng and I cover crypto, investing, and personal finance, including the income-generating investments that most people don't hear about until they've already spent years in lower-yield accounts. If you want to build a monthly dividend income stream from wherever you're starting, hit subscribe and give this a thumbs up if this helps. Before the picks, let me quickly explain why monthly dividends are different from quarterly dividends, because this matters more than most people realize. Most dividend stocks, including famous names like Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, and Procter & Gamble, pay dividends 4 times per year or once per quarter. Monthly dividends provide more frequent cash flow and superior compounding through drip reinvestment occurring 12 times annually versus 4 for quarterly payers. Over decades, this frequency advantage boosts total returns by allowing earlier reinvestment of cash. $10,000 at 6% yield compounded quarterly for 20 years is $32,906. $10,000 at 6% yield compounded monthly for 20 years, the result is $33,102. That's $196 more from the same investment, just from compounding monthly instead of quarterly. That's not life-changing on its own, but multiplying that across a larger portfolio over a longer time horizon, and the monthly compounding advantage becomes genuinely meaningful. And critically, if you're living off your dividends rather than reinvesting, monthly payments align with how you actually pay bills. Here's what most people don't realize. The monthly payers dominate 2 specific categories, REITs and BDCs. Understanding those categories is the foundation for understanding why these 5 picks exist. Here's the tax rule that explains why REITs and BDCs pay dividends monthly. REITs and BDCs must distribute at least 90% of taxable earnings to shareholders to avoid corporate income tax, turning them into pure pass-through vehicles. In plain English, these companies are legally required to pass almost all their income directly to shareholders. They don't get to hold onto the cash. That's why the yields are high and why the payments come so frequently. REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust, owns income-generating real estate, earns rent, pays rent to you. BDC, Business Development Company, lends money to mid-sized businesses, earns interest, pays interest to you. Both structures produce predictable monthly cash flows, rent payments, and loan interest, which fund predictable monthly dividend payments to shareholders. The trade-off to understand, mortgage REITs and some BDCs have cut dividends significantly during market stress. Focus on dividend coverage. Can the company afford the dividend rather than yield alone? This is the most important warning in dividend investing. A 15% yield that gets cut to 5% in a recession is worth far less than a 6% yield that's maintained for 20 years. We're picking for stability, not the highest number. Realty Income is considered a blue-chip REIT and is famous for trademarking the monthly dividend company. It has a long track record of consistent monthly payouts and slow, steady dividend increases, making it a staple in many income-focused portfolios. Realty Income pays 26 cents per month with a 5.36% yield as of June 18, 2026. Realty Income owns over 15,000 properties throughout the US, the UK, and continental Europe. Its properties range from 7-Eleven convenience stores all the way up to a 21.9% stake in the world-famous Bellagio Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. On a $200 allocation, your Realty Income position generates approximately 89 cents per month in dividends, growing every year as Realty Income raises its dividend. This is your portfolio anchor. Q1 2026 results showed total revenue rose 12.2% year-over-year to $1.55 billion, with AFFO per share growing 6.6% year-over-year to $1.13. The business is growing, the dividend is growing with it. Allocation: $200 or 40% of your portfolio. Main Street Capital's roots trace back to the mid-1990s, making the internally managed business development company one of the oldest and largest in the industry. Unlike most of its peers, Main Street has a strong record of supporting its regular monthly dividend through multiple cycles, including periods when many BDCs were forced to reset payouts. Main Street Capital offers around 8% yield. Main sits in a sweet spot, higher yield than most REITs, monthly cadence, and a more respectable quality profile than a lot of double-digit yield traps. On a $100 allocation, Main generates approximately 67 cents per month, plus supplemental dividends that come on top of the regular payment in good years. Main Street Capital frequently pays supplemental dividends in addition to its regular monthly dividend, effectively boosting the total yield above the stated rate in strong years. Allocation: $100 or 20% of your portfolio. Next, JEPI is different from the first two picks. It's not a REIT or a BDC. It's an ETF from JP Morgan that generates monthly income using a strategy called covered calls. JEPI wins for current income with its 7.2% yield and reduced volatility. Many investors hold both SCHD and JEPI for balanced income and growth. JEPI yields around 8% and has historically shown smaller drawdowns than QYLD or JEPQ. For retirees, that trade-off matters. The key advantage of JEPI: it's diversified across hundreds of large-cap US stocks, so you're not exposed to any single company or sector. The yield is generated by selling covered call options on the S&P 500, a strategy that produces consistent monthly income while sacrificing some upside in strong bull markets. Allocation: $100 or 20% of your portfolio. Number 4. ADC, a simple combination like 40% O, 25% Main, 20% JEPI, 15% ADC gives you monthly cash flow without going all in on the riskiest names. Agree Realty is a net lease REIT focused on necessity-based retail, grocery stores, drugstores, dollar stores, and home improvement retailers. The tenant base is deliberately defensive. These are the businesses that perform during recessions because people still need more groceries and medications regardless of the economy. Realty Income, STAG Industrial, Main Street Capital, JEPI, and JEPQ are among the best options for 2026, offering yields from 4.2% to 11% with monthly distributions. Agree Realty's yield is lower than the others on this list, approximately 4.5%, but that lower yield reflects the higher quality and stability of its tenant base. In a portfolio, the Agree Realty position is the one that holds up best when everything else is under pressure. Allocation: $50 or 10% of your total portfolio. Number 5 is DOC. Founded in 1985, Health Peak Properties switched from quarterly to monthly dividends in early 2025. Prior to that, the healthcare REIT underwent a transformative merger with Physicians Realty in 2024 to transition away from senior housing toward life science facilities and medical office buildings. Life science and medical office buildings typically attract higher credit quality tenants and have longer lease terms, higher margins, and better growth prospects than senior housing. The current yield is approximately 5.5%. Allocation is $50 or 10% of your portfolio. Here's the complete picture. Realty Income, $200 at 5.36%. That's $10.72 per year. Main Street Capital, $100 at 8% or $8 a year. JEPI, $100 at 7.2%. That's $7.20 per year. ADC or Agree Realty, $50 at 4.5%, $2.25 per year. Health Peak, $50 at 5.5%, that's $2.75 per year. The total is $30.92 per year from $500 or $2.58 per month from $500 invested. That sounds modest, and at $500 it is, but here's the math that changes the picture. $500 initial investment, $100 per month added, 6.5% blended yield for 20 years, that's over $50,000, generating approximately $3,000 per year in dividend income at 6.5% yield, or over $250 a month. From $500 starting capital and $100 per month of consistent adding. That's the power of the DRIP. Most brokers offer automatic dividend reinvestment at no cost. Every dividend you receive automatically buys more shares. More shares produce more dividends. The income compounds over time without you doing anything. Look, I'm going to say something that most dividend videos don't say because I think it's the most important thing in this entire video. Hold REITs and BDCs in tax-advantaged accounts like IRA, Roth IRA, or 401k whenever possible. If you must hold them in a taxable account, factor the higher tax rate into your net income projections. The 5 picks in this video are research starting points, not a finished portfolio. As your dividend income grows, add positions, diversify sectors, and always monitor payout ratios and coverage metrics before anything else. Here's the honest summary. 5 monthly dividend payers, $500 split across them, a blended yield of approximately 6.5%, starting income of $2.58 per month, growing every month as dividends are reinvested and positions grow. Over 20 years with consistent adding, a $250 a month passive income stream from $500 starting point. The monthly dividend is not magic, it's a system. You build it slowly, you reinvest consistently, and time does the compounding work on your behalf. The key is starting and making sure the positions you choose can sustain their dividends through full market cycles, not just the current one. If this gave you a starting framework for building monthly income, please hit the like button, subscribe and hit the bell. I post every week on crypto, investing, and personal finance. Drop a comment below. Which of these 5 are you adding to your watch list first? I read every single comment. See you in the next one. Bye!